So what's a better time to talk about the Fallout 3 Remake mod than right around the time we have rumors of a Fallout 3 remake from Bethesda. If you guys aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, I made a full video on that topic discussing the validity, or rather not, of those claims and what I think that leak may actually be. But in this video, we're actually talking about some concrete things that definitely are being worked on and are coming to Fallout 4, that in the form of upcoming mods. The main focus of this video is actually going to be on the Capital Wasteland Project. This is something we actually just talked about at the start of 2019, as they did announce they were resuming production of the mod. They're attempting to recreate pretty much all of Fallout 3 just in Fallout 4's engine, but last year they got some news that they wouldn't be able to reuse voice assets, so they now are going forward with the decision to re-record all of the voices. And this is actually the first update since their announcement of going live again, so it is definitely a pretty exciting one. After that though, we actually will look at some of the other mods, some of which are actually very relevant to this first one, but other things you might just be interested in the modding scene of Fallout 4. If you guys do enjoy the content, you can leave a like or subscribe, but with that, let's actually take a look at Fallout 4, the Capital Wasteland Project. One of the first things they touch on is how they're recruiting. So if you do have a certain set of skills or just a good microphone, you actually can help out with the production of this mod. They are looking for some people that have experience with the creation engine and the creation kit, but also they are looking for voice actors for some of the various roles that they will now have to fill. I will have links down below as to where you guys can apply if you do want to help with this mod. One of the things they show off first is some of the various world space shots, including some custom assets they have made along the way. These look awesome, and even though it's just like a snapshot of the mod in action, this is getting me very hyped and excited for this, because it actually looks like a recreated version of Fallout 3, like it is a modern day take on it. Through these, we get to see some images of our favorite locations and some of the most notable in the game. They detail how they actually have recruited quite a few people in the level design department, but even further, one of the other developments around this mod is actually somebody from the team of Fallout 4 New Vegas, known as Charlie, has joined this project and is attempting to actually merge the 2D art teams of each mod. They mention how creating some of these background assets is fairly tedious, and oftentimes they don't actually have a lot of people working on those, but this merging could change that somewhat, providing both mods with high quality objects. Even further, we hear some about the Raider armor. This is something we have seen from them in the past. There was actually no new images in this latest update, but rather just some updates around this, saying that it is almost fully implemented into the game. These of course look awesome, and it's one of those things I would love to see brought over to Fallout 4 to flesh out the leveled lists and outfits of the existing raiders in that game. Even further, we see some updated screenshots of the R91. This is a mod you could actually download right now for Fallout 4, but this brings some updates to that. In the past, the mod author behind this shared some other images of their dubbed R91 Redux, and it looks awesome, featuring new attachments, and all around the original R91 was extremely polished, but there weren't a ton of different things you could customize it with. It looks like this, at least somewhat, is going to address that, and for me at least, it is a much welcomed improvement. And then one of the final images shared is actually of Brahmin pushing, one of the most iconic and memorable components of older Fallout games that unfortunately didn't really make it into the modern ones. So all in all, I think this looks great, especially a lot of those world space images I did show you. It genuinely looks like a remade Fallout 3. Like if Bethesda tweeted those out without any logos, I think a lot of us would assume and be happy that they were remastering Fallout 3. Yet this is all being done by modders in their free time. I will have links down below to all of the various social medias of the Capital Wasteland Project, including their Discord and even other things, like their website and this image set itself. Something pretty interesting to follow this up with though, recently we got images of another mod. This one actually just being a direct port of all of the Fallout 3 world space assets, things like that, into the creation engine, otherwise known as the Fallout 4 engine. So based on Bethesda's terms of service, this is not allowed. You can't bring content from one of their games and put it into another game. So a mod like this could never be released, at least on a official website like Nexus or Bethesda. I want to highlight this for two reasons. First and foremost, I feel like it really shows how good and high quality of work we are getting out of the Capital Wasteland Project's remake of Fallout 3. You could truly tell looking at these images side by side which one looks just a lot better, even though they had to go that route of recreating all new things or using existing Fallout 4 assets. The difference still is quite clear, at least to me. But even further, since we do have all the rumors of a Fallout 3 remake, this is something Bethesda could technically do, porting over the Fallout 3 content into Fallout 4's creation engine. Maybe swap out a few of the textures and implement some of the new systems more appropriately, and hey, you got a remastered Fallout 3. In reality, it wouldn't actually be all that simple, but either Either way, I thought these images were certainly very interesting, even if it's a mod I'll probably never actually showcase the gameplay of on this channel. Something that just looks really cool and is quite relevant to some of the older Fallouts, we actually have a mod author that brought the original EXO1 helmet, or the advanced power armor helmet, into Fallout 4. A lot of you guys are probably like, hey, that looks familiar. It's because it was the box art of one of the past Fallout games, so you probably have seen it as a result of that. We have a few screenshots of it in action, this presently using the existing EXO1, but the mod author here does mention that he probably will create a new set of EXO1, or advanced power armor, as it was named in that old game. I think this looks really good. We haven't seen too many power armor mods for Fallout 4 over like the past 6 months. Only a couple have been released. This one playing at those nostalgia strings, in addition to just looking awesome, definitely will probably find a lot of us actually downloading it. But then we also actually have some updates to the Service Rifle Expansion Project. This is actually a mod I covered. You can download it right now. It's a little bit unique. It's not like your traditional weapon mod, in the sense that it actually builds upon an existing weapon mod, adding improvements to that. And as we're about to see with this preview of an upcoming update, it's actually going to be adding quite a bit more even in the future. So the next update for this, we're going to be getting additional handguards and other customization options, including, most notably, an under-barrel grenade launcher. As you can probably tell by some of these screenshots, this looks awesome. It actually seems like with some of these updates that will be coming to this, it's going to make the OG service rifle, and then this mod on top of it, a combination of one of the most heavily modifiable weapons in pretty much all of Fallout 4 modding. He shared quite a few images of the grenade launcher, which looks really cool. I'm excited to see how that's implemented, but also he does reveal that this will probably be out by at least March 14th, if not earlier. We also get some details at some of the texture changes coming to this mod. So he's doing something interesting here. He's actually making it so you can separate textures based on the top receiver, the bottom receiver, and then the magazine. This is just further increasing the customizability of this mod, obviously to an exponential level when you can apply paint jobs to all of the various receivers, but this looks cool. Even with some of the screenshots he did share, you could see it in action, and I definitely like that aesthetic. Well, let's say that wasn't really your style. You like some of those older weapons, or even modern takes on older weapons. Well, for you, I also have something that with a different attempt at a M1A Thompson, that effectively making the Thompson tactical. So what this mod is going to do is add in a pretty traditional M1A1 Thompson. You saw it throughout all of those World War II movies and video games. There's mods adding this into Fallout 4 right now, and that's cool, but the standout feature of this is the modern or tactical take on that Thompson. This mod's actually going to come also with a bunch of customization options to make it look like a modern AR. There's an MP40 mod by Trophy Hunter to do this in the past. I was a massive fan of it, and I hope this mod ends up getting released because I love stuff like this. I just think it's a really cool take on an old school weapon, but also of course implementing some of those modern aesthetics. Based on some of the images shared of this one, it really does look quite awesome, and I'm excited to see it hopefully get released, but also some more in-game screenshots and gameplay of it. But last but not least, we actually have some more updates to Wars. This is another fairly large overhaul mod coming to Fallout 4. This is bringing a total overhaul to the weapon system in Fallout 4. Well, in this image set, and actually with some of the videos I will show you, we're getting a closer look at some of the changes brought to the SA-80. The main thing we do get a look at is this new under-barrel grenade launcher. We get to see it from many different angles, and it looks awesome. You could even see some of the reload animations as they are progressing. Wars is another one of those mods that's going to feature quite a bit of functionality and customizability among its weapons, but even further for this one in particular, we get a look at these animations in action. And I gotta be frank, the animations of this, but even just the weapon itself looks awesome here. I've always had a pretty big soft spot for the SA-80 as well as some of its variants. I actually had an airsoft version of it way back in the day. But either way, this looks cool. I'm very excited for this mod, and in particular this weapon with this grenade launcher to get added to Fallout 4. So that's a look at some of the largest and most exciting upcoming mods that we got updates from over the past week or two. In particular, in this video, I obviously really focused on some of those Fallout 3 related mods, most notably with the pretty big update to Fallout 4, the Capital Wasteland Project. I've actually seen you guys asking me over the past day or two, hey, what's going to happen to that mod if this Fallout 3 recreation or remake ends up being true? First and foremost, you'll know if you watched my video on that, I really don't think it ends up being true. There's just way too many things about it that are inexplainable. Why why would a remake of a game have 3 separate editions? And of course, releasing another Fallout game so quickly after Fallout 76 would hurt the sales of Fallout 76, something that probably could use some help in that department. Even though I would love to play that game and I hope Bethesda is working on it, I think as of right now, as far as from a financial perspective and even just from some of the details we do know about the proposed leak, it is very unlikely it actually is a Fallout 3 remaster. I think it's more a lot of people hope it is and they're kind of projecting that. But even still, if somehow I am very wrong, and I will happily be wrong, I would be thrilled. A lot of these mod authors are just doing this to gain experience or out of their own enjoyment. They may continue working on their mod or alternatively just go back to modding other games, such as the newly released Fallout 3 remaster. Rather than recreating Fallout 3, they could create totally new DLC for it. I'm sure being creative in that sense would be really rewarding for those guys, and I don't think they'd be all that disappointed. Either way, as always, again, I thank you all for watching. You can find links to everything I talked about in this video down below, but with that, I hope to see you all next time. Later.